반갑습니다. 인터넷은 인텔리전스, 즉 정보입니다. 정보는 힘이고 힘 이외에 더 커진 정보는 국력이 됩니다. HTTP 시대는 이제 IPFS와 교체가 될 겁니다. 그리고 이미 교체가 되고 있습니다. IPFS와 파일코인은 방대한 우주의 지식과 인류의 과학, 여러분 개개인들의 모든 정보가 포함될 겁니다. 그리고 가장 빠른 속도로, 가장 강력한 보안 솔루션으로, 그리고 저렴한 비용으로 인터넷 세상을 열어나갈 겁니다. 미래의 인터넷은 과거의 인터넷과는 차별화되어 있기 마련입니다. 반드시 각 개개인의 사생활을 보존할 수 있어야 되고 인류의 과학적 지식을 오랫동안 후손에게 물려주어야 합니다. 이러한 프로젝트가 IPFS와 파일코인, 탈중앙 분산형 네트워크에 모두 포함되어 있습니다. 그 중에서 대한민국이 가진 가장 큰 경쟁력, 인터넷 강국, IT 강국 또 있죠. 여기 계신 모든 분들은 스마트폰을 다들 이용하십니다. 대한민국은 전 세계에서 가장 많은 네트워크, 인터넷, 스마트폰 보급률을 가지고 있고요. 이 속에서 IPFS 파일코인 네트워크가 전 세계에서 확장되어 상용화될 때 대한민국의 경쟁력은 더욱 빛날 것입니다. 그 속에 여기 계신 여러분들이 함께 할 것입니다. 오늘 행사의 가장 큰 목적은 대한민국의 뜨거운 IPFS 파일코인에 대한 열기와 관심을 프로토콜 랩스와 파일코인 파운데이션, 시큐어드 파이낸스, 그리고 일본의 스카이잼과 함께하면서 모든 우리의 상황을 알리고자 합니다. 여러분께서 앞으로도 기대해 주시고 먼 미래까지 안정된 인터넷, 고속화된 인터넷, IPFS 파일코인과 함께하기를 바라겠습니다. 이상입니다.
네, 이렇게 미디어 그리고 웹3는 정말 뗄래야 뗄 수 없는 사이 같습니다. 앞선 권 대표님 그리고 김훈 대표님의 발표까지 전해 들어봤습니다. 더 나아가 미디어를 만들어지는 데이터를 파일코인에 저장하게 되면은 이 미디어로서는 가장 중요한 불변성을 직면할 수 있을 것으로 보여지는데요. 더불어 티모가 전했던 K-팝 그리고 파일코인에 대한 발표 내용도 정말 좋았었죠. 그 둘의 만남이 웹3 생태계에 엄청난 시너지를 발휘할 것으로 기대가 됩니다. 네, K-팝 파일코인 데이 인 코리아 행사 계속해서 진행해 보도록 하겠습니다. 최근 파일코인 개발자들이 활발히 개발을 지속해서 진행하고 있죠. FBM, 데이터 검색 툴, 그리고 개발자 툴들을 끊임없이 업데이트하고 있는데요. 오는 4분기에 있을 큼지막한 기술 업데이트들, 어떤 것들이 있을지도 한번 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 파일코인의 최신 기술 업데이트에 대해서 프로토콜 랩스사의 디벨로퍼 애드보케이트인 롱페이 왕 저희가 박수로 모셔볼 텐데요.
Let's move on to the next session. Recently, Falcon developer is actively working on the project upgrade, FEM, data retrieval, dev tools. So let's invite dev advocate Longfei Wang at Protocol Labs to talk about the big tech updates in Q4. Let's welcome Longfei Wang.
Hello, everyone. It's very glad to be here in Seoul and talking to so much audience about Falcon and IPFS. So I'm very glad to be here to talk about what's going on with Falcon and what's our plan in terms of from the technology side of Falcon as well. So a little bit about myself. My name is Long Fei, and I'm working as developer advocate for Protocol Labs, mainly focused on Falcon. So what we do is we go around, we're trying to educate people what is Falcon and how we're building Falcon into the future Web3 technology. So today I'm going to mainly focus on some of the technology updates on what we are doing right now. First, we look at this picture of what we are thinking we're doing in terms of Falcon as a storage network. There are mainly 3 components that we are working on right now. I think if you guys are familiar with what Falcon IPFS is doing, the most important part of the feature of the network is providing the storage, the decentralized storage. So obviously after the mainnet launch after 2020, the main focus of Falcon is to grow the capacity, the storage capacity, as well as onboarding as many as useful data on Falcon as possible. So we've been putting a lot of effort, for example, upgrading our Lotus node and getting multiple Falcon node implementation to provide the stability over the network so we can grow the data and the storage capacity as good as possible. And we have been providing protocols, we've been providing tools to help storage provider to onboard the data, the most useful data on Falcon as smooth as possible, obviously as cheaper as possible. And now we're at the stage that the overall storage capacity reached to 18 gigabits. I think Clara mentioned earlier, that's a lot for storage. So why we need such a big storage? Because we want to onboard data and then providing the data retrievability to the users. That's the second component I'm going to talk about is the data retrievability. And we are making a lot of progress of building protocols, building tools to make sure that the content stored on the IPFS and Falcon will be discoverable and will be sharing across the Falcon IPFS network. And last but not the least, actually that's our favorite in the whole team, is the programmability and over the computation over the Falcon network. That's the most exciting part of the Falcon, and it's the most exciting part we are doing. So basically, we are building FVM, and we are enabling the developers on the community to be able to build EVM-compatible programs. And for example, there are a lot of use cases we can do, like automatic deal retrieval, and the data marketplace, data DAO, a lot of these usabilities. This is a bigger picture of the roadmap from the technology team. And we are breaking into 3 components, as what I mentioned earlier. For example, that at the lower bottom, it's what we've been doing for the data storage, storage capacity, as well as data onboarding. So we want to provide the smoother experience for storage provider, as well as clients. So we've been upgrading our Lotus node, and we're adding like snap deals, and we are adding like sealing as a service into the protocol layer, which is the Lotus node. And the higher level, we're giving the storage provider, giving the clients the ability to use our service to onboard the data. For example, there was like Slingshot and trying to onboard data on the Falcon network. And we also have the big data exchange. We're trying to connect the storage provider with the clients to onboard big, large data set and very useful data set. And apart from the data onboarding, we spend a lot of time improving the retrievability over the network. And the most exciting component we have done, I will talk a little bit about later, which is network indexer, as well as the Saturn, which providing the fast retrieval and the super fast CDN quality over the Falcon network. And then at the top level, it's more of the programmability and computation. It's mainly focused on FVM, and we are breaking down the FVM development into different circles. And at that stage, we are focused on milestone 2. And I will talk a little bit about later. The last, after FVM is finished, it will be the most exciting part is computation over the network. And we'll actually use the data on the Falcon network, make it not just storing there, but more valuable to our clients and to other applications running on Falcon. All right, we are gonna look at what we're being delivered for the past couple months as the achievement. So I will focus on a couple of the very exciting achievements we have done. And let's look at the Falcon virtual machine first. So what is FVM? And I hope everybody here knows that the smart contract and the programmability over the blockchain is very important at this stage of development for blockchain. So FVM is the program that we're bringing the programmability on Falcon, which means eventually developers and builders will be able to build our native smart contract on Falcon, which is running over the WASM runtime environment, as well as it providing the platform for the EVM compatible developers to be able to develop the smart contract in Solidity, in VHAT, and also use a lot of the EVM compatible tools like Solidity and other contract libraries, and also like Truffle and Red Hat to be able to develop your smart contract easily on Falcon network. Because the EVM is a big community, and we are welcoming them to come to build program on Falcon as well. And actually, we just delivered the first milestone, which is FVM M1. And this milestone gave the Falcon node the ability to run the native actor, which is the smart contract, over the FVM, which is our WASM-based runtime environment. And this is a very, very exciting upgrade, and it came around July 6th with the V16 network upgrade. So after that, the team is working on the next milestone, which is milestone 2. I'll talk about later. But I will give you guys a little bit more exciting things to participate into the FVM, is the FVM Early Builder Program. For after milestone 0 release, we ran first round of the Early Builder Program, and we got a lot of teams sign up. Eventually, we pick 25 the best team and individual to join our Early Builder Program. That was a great experience. We have a lot of sessions, a lot of meetings with the core team and with the early builder team to educate them and to let them try the early version of FVM, and also give us the feedback to improve the milestone 1. Now, if you are interested, you can scan that QR code and send up an application to join the next round of the early builder program. And it's very hot and a lot of people are excited to join. So if you are a smart contract, especially Solidity developer, welcome to scan that code and then send us an application to join that program. And the next exciting achievement that we have done is the networking tester. So a networking tester is a program that's running over the Falcon and IPFS network. It's mapping the CID, which is stored on Falcon and IPFS with the storage provider who is storing it. So it will give the network the content discoverable over the Falcon network. It'll be able to provide the content as fast as possible. It's been running over some times, and we are having a great achievement over the Falcon networking tester. So I have a little bit of data that I looked up a little bit earlier, and that was a huge success that I kind of a little bit shocked, because we are over the 30 days, we indexed the CID, which is already over 5 billion of the CID in the network. And even for the past week, we have done like over 4 million of indexing CID by the indexer. And obviously all the indexed providers, they are cross-global. We have like around 200-ish index provider running, and making sure that they are running without any problem. And of course, Saturn is something that I have to bring it up, because that's a retrieval market achievement that we've done. And I hope my colleague Jenks will talk a little bit more into what Saturn is doing. But I'm just give you a little bit update on what it is. So Saturn is actually building a decentralized CDN for Falcon, and it's using a multi-layer caching mechanism to speed up the retrieval for Falcon. And currently, we're running a testnet with 34 nodes, and every day, all the nodes are running and providing around 10 million retrieval. And if you are building a program, I think that will give program over the Falcon, that will give you a lot of speed and a lot of retrieval, and way better than, I would not say way better, but we're wanting to build it way better than the IPFS gateway. And also we have a Falcon Station dashboard that if you are a participant into the Saturn, you can provide a wallet address, and you'll be able to see all the updates. For example, what's the retrieval speed, how many retrieval you have provided to your clients, and obviously how much field token you earn by providing the content. This is still working in progress, and a lot of exciting news will be coming after that. And also for our data onboarding program, Moon Landing, it's also trying to give the storage provider the easiest way to onboard the data. Obviously, most important is useful data. And you can either choose to participate in either the Slingshot or Evergreen, or even use both. And that's the achievement we have done. And also we'll keep moving forward with everything we're working on right now. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more on the long term, on like this year or maybe next year, what the main focus is. So first is the FVM M2. Earlier that I was talking that we are recruiting the early builder to join Falcon, the VM. That was mainly focused on Solidity. Why is that? Why we are focusing on Solidity? Because we are bringing the Solidity or the EVM compatibility to the Falcon. So by the next milestone, we will give the Falcon ability to run the EVM compatible smart contract on there. So the user or the builders will be able to come to Falcon network, maybe just migrate their smart contract, their program to Falcon, and also build their application using Solidity and all the Solidity compatible tools like Truffle and Remix or MetaMask. And it's also running over our native FVM, which is the Watson based. So if you're interested, and M2 is also coming very soon, we are hoping by the end of September or by the end of October, the FVM milestone 2 will be delivered. And after that, it's going to mainly focus on providing the native smart contract support for Falcon. And so what's more exciting after we're having the programmability on Falcon is what we're going to do with all the data stored on Falcon. We onboard a lot of data. We onboard a lot of useful data. Now it's sitting in our storage. And computing over it is going to be very, very exciting. And it's opened a completely new market and new possibilities on Falcon because we are a storage network. We are a storage network with a lot of data. And then within the protocol lab network, we formed a working group or mainly focused bringing the computation over all the data on Falcon. There are a couple of the programs that they are doing great and they're achieving a lot and making great progress. I want to especially mention a couple of them here. The first one is the Backerhol. I think my colleague told me it's a German word, so I don't really pronounce very well. But what it does is it providing the data computation framework over the Falcon. How it does is it's creating a derivative data set over the original data on Falcon, and also processing all this data and returning the result back to the user without reviewing and without touching the original data. So basically, we're making the data on Falcon or the data set on Falcon become more useful and trading the cost to make them do more things on Falcon. And then the second I want to talk about is Lock. Lock is a programming language for recursive ZK-SNOC. Why we having Lock is because ZK-SNOC has been used a lot in the Falcon network. And we're using it to do the proof validation for the proof of replication, proof of space-time. And it's a language that we will use a lot over the network. And then we took it out of the Falcon and make it like a programming language or a tuning complete language which could be used not only in the protocol layer, but on the programming layer. For example, in your smart contract, you will be able to write using the lock for your smart contract and then providing the ZK-SNOC, ZK0 proof knowledge into your smart contract, which will be very exciting, and then providing a lot of use case for smart contract. For example, computation over the data without reviewing the original data using the zero knowledge proof. And though, if you are interested, they are in the GitHub as well as our Notion page. We have a public Notion page, have like Wikipedia and documents to explain how to use bucket Hall and lock. And we're also having a program called Medusa. It's basically providing a threshold cryptographic network for Falcon. The first use case we are exploring is decentralized access control. For example, that if you have access control over the network, you can provide the private content, content with description. Encryption and decryption. And you can also use that for like public decryption for any of the subscriptions and any of the users. And then also it could be used in the smart contract level as well. So we're providing a smart contract of complex cryptographic using the threshold encryption. And the last one to talk about is hierarchy consensus protocol. Why I'm talking about it is because FVM is coming up very soon. And as we know that now Falcon only running the storage provider proving that the data is stored on Falcon, and also proving that the storage provider are constantly storing the data. It's mainly on storing the proof. But where is Falcon implemented and delivered on Falcon, it will bring a lot of usability, a lot of program, and all that will actually bring higher of the requirement over the network. So as the development team, we're worried about is Falcon scaled enough to be able to handle a lot of transaction, a lot of application running on it. And obviously, it will bring a lot of the pressures, and we will see the bottleneck very clear. And that's why the whole research team is doing an MVP for the hierarchy consensus protocol. And we will, after the new capability, bring it to Falcon, and we also need to scale Falcon to be able to handle that kind of a pressure and that kind of a high transaction rates over the network. And then it's also, we're also thinking about like sharding and some of the sub-chain, and then we'll be able to handle different usabilities. And according to the roadmap, hopefully that we will have a testnet be able to running by the end of a Q4, and along with the FVM. Thank you for, this is all my updates, and this is updates I'm very excited about for Falcon in terms of storage capacity, retrieval, and programmability. And if you have any question, you can reach out to me from Twitter, and hopefully I can give you some better answer. Thank you very much.
네, 프로토콜랩스사 기술 개발 책임자인 롱페이 왕님의 파일코인 4분기 주요 기술 업데이트에 대한 발표 내용 들어봤습니다. 다음으로도 프로토콜랩스 본사에서 와주신 분인데요. 스토리지 제공자들의 생태계 그리고 프로그램과 관련된 이야기 나눠주신다고 합니다. Next, Stefan from Protocol Lab is here to talk about storage provider ecosystem and programs. Please greet him with a round of applause. 박수 부탁드립니다.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good afternoon. My name is Stefan. I'm responsible for our storage providers, which means I wake up every morning thinking about our lovely storage providers, of which we have more than 4,000 today. Our mission is to build the platform for decentralized web by building a network of enterprise-grade Web3 storage providers and treating them like gold. Basically, what we are doing is not just building Falcon storage providers, but if you look at all our storage providers, they're looking at building a business on top of Falcon. You've seen from Longfei all the cool stuff, all the cool technologies that are coming out in the next couple of months. And as you can see, it's more than just storing data. We're doing compute over data. We are doing smart contracts. All of this is very similar to where Amazon started 15 years ago. You know, they started off with an S3 storage target where customers could upload their data for very little cost, and 15 years later, they now control the majority of the market of enterprise data. They support multiple services. That's our goal as well. Our mission is to build the platform basically for Web3, the foundation for that. Okay, why should you join a community? Lots of reasons. A lot of the businesses that are built on our platform today, of which some of you are here in the room, of course, you have built your business, is allowing you to take back control and increase your margins, build a business that's subsidized by tokens, and allows you to innovate and differentiate. And so in a lot of ways, we are building a whole new ecosystem of businesses that are going to change the world and are changing the world as we know it today, which is awesome. To give you some more details, today we have more than 4,000 systems, and we categorize them in different profiles. I wake up every morning with my team. Our goal is to help accelerate the growth of our storage providers, so these businesses that we are building. And so we're seeing, even in last quarter, we saw 275 net new systems coming online worldwide, and we'll continue to see that grow. But what's more important is that in the middle, we're seeing a very healthy growth of existing storage providers increasing capacity, and not just that, also starting to take deals, starting to bring customers to the network, which is amazing. So a lot of you, even here in the room, thank you for all your help. Thank you for all your support and helping us build this amazing network. So when we look at the decentralized nature, we also see an accelerated decentralized growth, meaning we see a ton more new regions pop up. So in the last year, we saw Korea, Singapore, US leading the charge and growing, which we're very proud of. We're very happy to see even early signs and interest of emerging markets like Africa and Latin America, which is amazing. And we are investing a lot of effort in supporting those that are continuing to grow in new areas. So, we're here today in Korea, but we're already talking about maybe running events in Thailand and others. So we are very supportive of expanding the network overseas. And so Korea today represents around 10% of the miner count. We have more than 400 miner IDs based in Korea. We have more than 4,000 miners global. So amazing, impressive to see this massive growth. When we look at storage, and we kind of mentioned it a couple of times, so today, this is a snapshot of this morning, we have 139 petabytes of real data. And just put some perspective, the total network last year in capacity represented 1% of the total capacity that was manufactured and shipped worldwide, which is amazing, the fact that we could grow so fast. The second plan, or the second part of our master plan, one was bring capacity to the network. Two is now bring and store data to the network, basically bring those new data sets. Today, we're growing at 1 petabyte of net new data coming into the network on a daily basis. Our goal is to grow that to 5x, so 5 petabytes by the end of this year. So we're doing anything we can to help grow the network and to support that. That includes new programs, and so that's why I want to give you some overview on what we're doing there to help our ecosystem, our storage providers, in their pursuit to build their business, which is obviously storing real customer data onto the network. And we see it in different stages. So what are we doing to support our ecosystem? So you look at it as a funnel, one from left to right. We've built our own speedofFalcon.io landing page, which provides with all the information. And on the right, we provide all the way to grants. In the middle, we are providing consulting services through our ecosystem and accelerator programs through our ecosystem. Our goal is not to build our own team like Protocol Labs. We don't want Protocol Labs to be like thousands of people. We'd rather have thousands of businesses. So if you have an opportunity, if you know of a tool or an application or a service that you want to build on Falcon and you need help, please let us know. We'll be very supportive in helping the ecosystem through our ecosystem, through investments, through enablement with our partners. Because I consider all of you part of the same, we're basically part of the same ecosystem, we're part of the same company essentially. Our goals are aligned. We want to we want to grow this network. And so you can see from left to right, this is what we've built in the last the last 2 to 3 quarters, right? Where we focused on building new programs from boot camps to lending programs, etc. So what I want to do is I want to walk through a few of them so you have a better understanding of what tools we have for net new storage providers that are coming online. One is we have a dedicated website where you can sign up for a newsletter, where you can get regular updates specifically to our storage providers. You can also follow us on Twitter. There you can actually find all sorts of data. For example, you can find online training bootcamps for anyone who wants to become a storage provider, because it can be overwhelming and it's hard, definitely if you're not a crypto native person. So please go there. We have more than 40 hours or 44 videos of content that is updated on a quarterly basis. And this content is created by us, but by our partners, by storage providers themselves, foundation, and external vendors. We also have a grant program specifically for storage providers that want to get off the ground. So who's this program for? It's basically a consulting service that we fund for anyone who wants to learn more, wants to give it a try, wants to talk to an expert and learn what the requirements are to become a storage provider. We see that today a lot. We actually have more than 100 people on a weekly basis reaching out to us, leaving their information behind, trying to become a storage provider worldwide, which is amazing. So even, and this is the fun part, is anytime the price goes up or down, we see an increase in demand or interest in Falcon, which, as most of you've seen, right, 2 weekends ago, that made a big move. So again, this helps to create awareness as well. But we have the services for it, so we will help you. We also have an enterprise storage provider accelerator program. So last year we built this accelerator program. We now have more than 35 businesses that are going through this program. And this is a 6 to 7 month program where you can actually get training of full infrastructure and support. And you'll walk away with a lot of connections, but also hardware and actually tokens at the end of the program. And essentially this helps companies that want to accelerate their business. And we have availability for 15 companies every quarter. So every quarter we have one of these cohorts starting, and our goal is to close at 50 end of this year. We're looking at more accelerated programs as we see a huge demand for becoming a storage provider. We also work with the lending companies, so we have lenders that offer special lending programs. CoinList, Dharma, Anchorage, those are a few. So to help our storage providers with getting better rates for their loans, because as you know, you have to pledge Falcon. You as an investor, you can actually, if you are a Falcon holder, you can actually reach out to these lenders and you can get a certain yield back from your tokens as well. So if you're interested, you can reach out to them. And you can actually put your Falcon tokens at work by lending them out to the storage providers through some of these programs. And that can help you as a token holder as well. We also work very closely with the hardware manufacturers. So our goal is to make it easier for the storage providers to get hardware and optimized for Falcon. And so we work with Seagate and AMD, two of the major vendors that deliver, the storage, to the CPU and the GPUs and the FPGAs to optimize it. And so these vendors are running Falcon in their labs. They're tuning it for our stack, which is incredible, have dedicated people, and Seagate even has a leasing model specifically for Falcon. So they created a special program for Falcon. Second, we also, as we are seeing the, a market grow and storage providers get ready to store real data, we are creating, and we kind of mentioned it before, multiple programs to help our storage providers in getting deals. And one of those programs is evergreen.falcon.io. It's a program that's uniquely created for storage providers to help recover data that was lost or replicate more copies basically across our network. And that will enable our storage providers as well to learn and operate deals and collaborate with each other. So one thing that we really see that's unique in our network is that our storage providers are very well connected. Today you have collaborations across multiple countries and across multiple continents. So we have storage providers in Singapore working with Australian storage providers and European, and so it's amazing to see that there's a global collaboration happening, and we'd like to see that in Korea as well. So there's very strong collaboration when storing data. We also have Slingshot version 3, which helps accelerate deals as well for our storage providers. So this is another program that's provided by us to help store public data sets, genomic data sets, you name it, public data sets across the network. Very popular right now. So this is version 3 of Slingshot, which helps our storage providers in also accelerating their token rewards, because as you store data, and this is Falcon Plus, you get 10 times more block rewards, which means that as a storage provider, if you're storing real data, your ROI, your return on investment, will be a lot higher than someone who's just providing capacity. Again, multiple programs to incentivize the network to store real data. And then we also are building what we could call the Yelp version, the Yelp style version, or the Airbnb style version of Falcon for our storage providers to promote their business on. So if you're a storage provider, you want to promote your business, you can create your own profile, you can actually list all your benefits, sorry I was in the way, and you can actually use that to promote your services across the globe for other storage providers if they want to collaborate with you. So tomorrow we actually have a full day dedicated just to help storage providers in onboarding data, which is awesome. And so as you can see, we're building more services. We also support on the marketing side. So what we've noticed is that our storage providers, they need help with promoting their business. This is to attract more capital or to attract customers, demonstrating that they're a very invested business. So we help them through promoting their businesses on our falcoin.org website. So we'll create a blog, we'll promote it, we write case studies, and we do support our storage providers with a lot of marketing help as well. So if you have an idea or you want to organize an event just like this, as you can see, this event itself was in collaboration with Timo and our partners in the ecosystem. This is not just us running it, because we believe that anytime we enable an ecosystem partner, it has a multiplier effect, meaning we help them, we help the network. It's not just us trying to run it all ourselves. And so last but not least, if you need help, as I mentioned, apply for a grant. Again, we are very much a believer of investing in the ecosystem, because as we say in the US at least, if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together. So let's do it all together. And so I mentioned if you want to organize an event, please let us know. We have the support for that as Timo did. So please join us. And last but not least, if you want to participate, we actually started last year a working group. We now have 6 working groups. Working groups are groups that come together within a region, within a country, to collaborate on how we can build out the ecosystem. And so we have one in Korea, we have one in China, we have one in Singapore, we have one in Japan, we have one in Europe, and we have one in America. And we want to expand that across the globe. And what is so strong about these working groups is that we get local inputs, we get local support, and we help these local teams to build the network together with us. So with that, I want to thank you. How do you reach out to us? Follow us on Twitter, come to our website, or send us an email at storageproviders@protocol.ai, or follow us on our website. And I thank you very much for this, and I hope to see you soon.
네, 스토리지 프로바이더들에 대한 생태계 이야기 한번 들어봤는데요. 이 생태계를 더욱 단단하게 하기 위해서 슬링샷 버전 3 그리고 온라인 트레이닝 부트캠프 같은 다양한 프로그램들을 지원하고 있다라고 설명을 해주셨습니다. Following up, Isabella Bu, Falcon Asian Marketing from Protocol Labs, is here to present about Falcon ecosystem and how you can participate. 박수로 모실게요. 감사합니다.
Hello everyone, very nice to meet you and good afternoon. And since our colleagues, Stefan and Longfei, it's already gets a very awesome presentations on the technical side and storage provider side. So I'm gonna give you a little bit break because my presentations is not that hardcore. So you can easily learn it. And I will tell you how is Falcon ecosystem growing and how you can participate on our ecosystem. Okay, so it's already 21 months since our Falcon mainnet was launched and the Falcon community was built. And till now, we already have the large data storage work. It's already over 4,000 storage providers offering over 18 exabytes of the storage capability. And also for builder size, we already have some environmental where builders can thrive. Over 15,000 developers engaged within hackathons, grants, and we have 1,000 GitHub contributors for Falcon. And also for Web3, like you know how much NFT users in global communities, so we already onboarded like 67 million NFT stored on Falcon by NFT storage. And also we have a lot of ecosystem projects, like over 25 categories for the user cases and 450 live applications on Falcon network, like NFTs, metaverse, gaming, and biotech. So it's all the hot topic in Asia community. Okay, so see this picture. Like you can see the central, like we have collaborations and integrations with different public blockchain projects like Ethereum, Flow, Near, Chainlink, Polygon, and so on. And also you can see the third column. We collaborate with different research institutions for exploring more applications building on Falcon Web3 map. And for this picture have a very detailed information on how Falcon was collaborate with other collaborators. Like you must know there was a lot of household names like OpenSea, Magic Eden, Gala Games in gaming and NFT world, so we already collaborated with them. And also for Polygon, Near, LivePeer, Mask Network, Hedera is all our collaborators in Web3 world. So we already leverage many collaborations in Falcon network, and also we offer some joint grant program for developers and builders to join Falcon network naturally. And this is our ecosystem map. And we already have over 50 collaborators and partnerships in both Web3 and Web2 worlds. And you can see the right side is already over 450 startups building on our top technology. Some awesome projects, just like secured finance, already achieve very awesome works on Falcon. And for the bottom side, we give you strong support from Protocol Labs, Falcon Foundation, Starbot, Altcore Team, and NFT storage. It's already over 9,000 GitHub developers there on Falcon network. And this picture you'll have seen on Clara's presentation already, so I just zoom it up and you can see the detail. You can see a very stable growth line on our startup. For Falcon founders, funnel grades like over X times since the beginning of last year, and now it will be 2.2 times since Q3. And you can see a lot of startups already completed their funding raise round, like from seed round, then go into the first round A and round B and round C. They already growing very healthily and achieve their business. Okay, so let me tell you how to join our ecosystem. Maybe you are just the community members. You can also be a developers. You can also be a startups. So the first step is you need to, maybe you can have our education program because you need to have a very briefly foundation knowledge of how Falcon works. So you can join the education program to watch some tutorials like NFT storage and reading our documentation to know how can you build on Falcon ecosystem. After the education program, you can join our hackathons. We have hackathons all over the world every time. So you can just pick one track for the hackathons. And we normally have over 5 hackathons each month in different areas in the world. And after you achieve the winners of the hackathons, you can apply to our developer grant. Like we already distribute out around 138 grants to the developers all over the world. So after the hackathons, you can apply next step macro grants, which is $5,000. If you have a long-term building plan on Falcon, you can also apply the open grants. There will be not a very high ceiling of the application of the account of like maybe thousands of USD dollars, but it's very easy to get the financial support on your building stuff. So after the hackathons, after the grants, then you maybe have an idea to like, maybe I can just start my personal business on Falcon, like maybe I will have a startup teams to contribute more, I think more scale works on Falcon, then you can apply our accelerators. And until this year, we already have like over 100 startups in our incubators. So such like Secured Finance, which they joined the Falcon Launchpad Accelerators in 2021 after the accelerating and the guidelines from tutors and support from investment, they grew up very sharply. So that's how we did in the accelerators. Okay, so after the accelerators, you must have your own track. You can pick like I'm a metaverse project, I'm a NFT project. We have different tracks and customize your support for your business. Like maybe for identity area, we have Spruce, and on finance area, we have Secured Finance, and on gaming area, we have OP Games. You can read from the slide how they achieve their fundraising and how they meet their investors and how they launch their product. Okay, so finally we come to this slide. So there was multiple choice for you to participate for Falcon ecosystem and tap into our ecosystem. First, like if you are winners of hackathons, you're already in our ecosystem. Like you can provide as a judge and sponsors if you are a business partner. And also you can meet your startups into our Launchpad accelerators to get our mentor and sponsor. And also, I think this is extremely important for you is you can apply the Orbit program. It was issued by Falcon Foundation. You can be part of Falcon family to join the Orbit. Like it's very easy. Like you can host your own event. Like today's event is so awesome. So for a team from Secured Finance, they apply the Orbit project, and then we will have a review on your proposal to host your events relevant with Falcon, and then you can meet our team members from Protocol Labs, and you can have your own conferences and such as Ethereum Denver or NFT MSC and so on. So you must be very confident on gathering a lot of people here to hear what happened in Falcon and what happened in your business. So it's a great method for you to join Falcon ecosystem. So you can just search Orbit program online and you can submit your applications. Okay, so we also build our local Korean community, so I don't think the language won't be a barrier for us to communicate. So you can just hand off your cell phones, open your Telegram, scan the QR code if you want to talk with people about Falcon in Korean. So we will also launch some daily news updates in the announcement group. You can see any content update about Falcon Twitter, Falcon YouTube, and Falcon blogs in Korean. And on the right side, we have translated all the Falcon blogs into Korean, so you can catch up with us to know what our contributes, what's the next step. So take a picture on this slide. You can find some to join our Korean local community. And thank you for coming to hear my presentations. 감사합니다.
네, 파일코인 생태계에 어떻게 참여할 수 있는지 참여 방법에 대해서도 설명을 들어봤습니다. 다음으로 이어서 어떤 소식이 전해질지 설명드리도록 할 텐데요. Recently, various efforts have been made to build a retrieval market. In the following sequence, Falcon Foundation's developer advocate James Guo will explain building decentralized CDN and market in detail. 박수로 모시도록 하겠습니다.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jenks. I'm from Falcon Foundation. Today, I'm very excited to talk about one of the most exciting projects at Falcon. That is Retrieval Market. I'll talk about a CDN, what is a CDN, what is a Retrieval Market, and then the incentive model, the roadmap of it, and how to follow the project. So what is a CDN? A CDN is a group of computers or servers distributed over geological areas that is closer to the user. The purpose is to serve the content closer to the user. Let's say if a user would like to watch some K-drama that is located in Korea and they're based in North America, it could take up to 3 seconds for the content to be loaded. And we do not have patience these days to wait for that. The solution is to have a content delivery network or content distribution network to serve the content a little bit closer to the user so you get better performance. The business side of the CDN is huge. As you can see, in 2020, the size of the CDN network is 18 billion. And then in 2030, it will grow to 95 billion. That is a 23% growth every year. Who are the biggest player for CDN technology? There is Akamai, Amazon, Avid Cloud, CDN 7.7, and also Cloudflare. Verizon also have their CDN solution called Edgecast. There are a few challenges in building a CDN. There are some characters that CDN will need to have. A, efficiency. The CDN needs to be effective in loading pages faster than the origin server. So people can enjoy their websites, make purchases online very quickly. CDN should handle more traffic. It needs to be secure. And also, it needs to prevent attacks like DDoS attack and some other forms of attacks to protect the origin server. CDN needs to be available. It needs to make content more available for everyone to consume. So it needs to handle high traffic and also being able to be fault tolerant. We do not want CDNs to be down. And we probably have heard of Facebook outage before. When Cloudflare went down, a lot of big platforms stopped working. And we cannot live without internet these days. The last thing is optimization. The CDN should reduce cost of serving content cheaper than actually having all those centralized servers, origin servers everywhere in the world. So currently, the CDN design is very centralized, and that presents a problem, like I mentioned before, when certain platforms went down, half of the internet went down. The solution is to build a decentralized CDN network. That's exactly what we're trying to do at Falcon. But before I go into retrieval market, I would like to talk about how things work at Falcon to store the file, but also to retrieve the file. So right now, if you would like to store something on Falcon network, the storage client, the person who wants to store the file, will need to make a deal with storage provider. And when the deal is successful, the storage client will send the content to storage provider, either via internet or via sneakernet. So physically sending hard drive over there to get stored. From that point on, the storage provider will need to provide cryptographic proof to the network to get reward from the network. That's how mining works, or storage providing, we call it here. To get the file out, it is a little bit like putting things in freezer, but also taking it out. If we have something frozen, we'll need to defrost it for a little bit before we can serve it. And right now, the retrieval deals works like that. So to get the content back from the network, you'll need to make a deal, and the storage provider will act as a retrieval provider and serve the content to you via IPFS or directly. That doesn't work in the modern world because to the consumers because it's too slow. That is why we're building Retrieval Market. Retrieval Market is a decentralized network that we're trying to start, and it's not just one solution, it's a few solutions together. It provides, hopefully, a highly performant, reliable, secure, but also with incentive crypto economic behind it for the longevity of the network. Let's take a look at a very high-level diagram of how Retrieval Market works. This is very simplified, but it still gives you some idea of how each role works in the network. So we have content publisher, who are clients who wants to store the files, and then the storage providers who takes deals and store them. The middleman is the Falcon market, which is the subsystem for Lotus, or now getting replaced by a service called Boost, which Brenda will talk about later. Then these are the two roles that we already know, right? Storage provider and then content publisher, which are clients. There are three new roles that is going to be introduced with Falcon Retrieval Market. One is indexer, index provider. Longfei talked a little bit about that. Index provider would tap into the market service and also storage provider, and it will scan and index or know which provider has what content. From this, the retrieval provider, who will get the data from storage provider, will use this service to serve a retrieval client, which are softwares that hopefully live on end user devices to get the data from the decentralized network. There is an ocean to boil here for this project. Therefore, we're not doing this alone. There are 10 grants in process. There are 15 teams involved in building and 81 contributors right now. We have not done it all by Protocol Labs or Falcon teams alone. We have invited our community team members to join. So the incentive models, I think everyone is interested in how, if I run a retrieval node or if I help with the CDN network, how would I get incentivized for that? It is a very tricky question because the retrieval market, like a CDN, happens, there's a lot of transaction happens very fast. And with the existing blockchain that we have, the speed is not enough. But we hope to build on the side or on top of a Falcon virtual machine to enable such a fast transaction. But getting people to pay for this service is also tricky. So based on few scenarios, the retrieval market actually has a few solutions. If the retrieval client pays it directly, then there's two teams working on it. One is Magma, and the other one is called Mayer. Together, they hope to provide a solution that the retrieval client pays for use of the CDN network. If the retrieval client or the end user does not pay for it and it comes from somewhere else, then there are two solutions based on whether you need a validator or not. If you don't need validator, it is the Saturn project that is working on it. Longfei talked about that a little bit earlier as well. if there is a validator network involved, there will be Titan mentioned and a few other projects involved. It is a huge undertaking, therefore it will take some time. These are the roadmap of high-level roadmap of retrieval market. In Q2 2020, the retrieval of node is running in a few marketplaces. One of them is Saturn, which is launched already. In Q3 2020, we should see performance improvement in different markets for retrieval network. And in Q4, the crypto economics hopefully will be finalized and given to everyone. And in Q2, retrieval market will be integrating to FEM, which is a Falcon virtual machine. That's all of my talk. I hope you learned a little bit about decentralized CDN. And if you would like to follow the project, I recommend you to go to retrieval.market and also watch the latest video delivered by Patrick Woodhead, our technical program manager for retrieval.market, for the latest. He explained the thought process of the incentive model in detail in this talk given in Texas, Austin, earlier this year. Thank you very much.
네, 이렇게 웹3를 완벽하게 구축하기 위해서는 이 스토리지 제공도 정말 중요하지만 저장했던 콘텐츠를 다시 받아볼 수 있도록 하는 이 CDN 그리고 이를 전달해주는 검색 시장도 정말 중요한 것 같습니다. Moving on, Brandon Lee, the product manager of Protocol Labs, will talk about Boost Falcon Markets. 박수로 다음 연사 모시겠습니다.
Hello, everyone. 안녕하세요. It's really nice to meet you all here. Sorry, I can't speak Korean, but yeah, just gonna talk really quickly today about Boost, about Falcon markets, some of the things that we're working on, and really hope you can learn something today. So first, I'm just going to share about what is in Boost and how has it improved Falcon markets in general. So first of all, to give a bit of background, markets, when we refer to markets in Falcon, a lot of it is basically referring to the storage and retrieval markets. So what is all involved when a Falcon client, maybe myself or some enterprise customer wants to store data on the Falcon network. So what's involved in the deal-making process, what's involved in the retrieval process. So that's kind of all encompassed in markets, and Boost is a project that we're working on, and the idea is that we want to improve a lot of the existing processes there. So the first thing that Boost gives you is better visibility into your system. So this is in particular for storage providers. So if you are a storage provider, we really recommend that you move to Boost because you can get more information around what's going on with all your storage deals. And we're going to also add more capabilities for retrieval deals as well in the future. So as an example, here's just some of the UI that we have built around your storage deals. So you can see a list of all of your deals, kind of what's the state of your current deal. Is it in transferring data state? Is it ready to publish? Is it already published? You can also see information around your funds. So how much Filecoin do you have that's part of in your, that's in escrow, that's available for your collateral, as well as your current storage space. What are kind of your data transfer speed and your ceiling pipeline, like what's in that pipeline at the moment. So you have more visibility, you're able to make better decisions around whether or not you want to accept more deals or whether or not you want to kind of maybe wait for a little bit until your pipeline opens up. Second, we have added a lot more options for data transfer. So some of the storage providers that we worked with have basically shared that a lot of the data transfer options were not, like they prefer using something like HTTP or maybe other data transfer options to actually get data from the client or retrieve data to the client. So now we have HTTP transfers via the Boost CLI, which is really great. We have Bidbot integration as well. So if you're using a lot of these tools like Bidbot or Estuary, you can also leverage these additional data transfers. Last but not least, we have added a lot more support for tooling. So this includes when you're prepping your data, as well as when you're kind of interacting with the client. So first of all, we've added a lot more commands for when you're generating your car files. So when you get the data from the customer, you need to generate a car file, calculate a COMP, and whatever other things you have to do to prep the file for making a storage deal on Falcon. We also have integration with a tool called CID Gravity, which is an ecosystem tool that lots of storage providers use to get better filtering in place and have kind of some automated rejections or automated accepting of deals depending on maybe client IDs or maybe you're working with specific people and you want to reject some other deals. So that's type of the filtering that we have, and we have the compatibility with that tool, and we're adding more information there to also improve the filtering options. We also have index provider integration. So I don't know if some of you guys have worked with indexer nodes or maybe are setting up your own indexer node, but we also have integration there. And yeah, so that's a really quick overview of what we have launched with Boost, and going to share a little bit about roadmap and what's coming next with some of the features we're working on. So some updates that we have in the next couple of months. So we have officially launched Boost as of mid-June, so you can upgrade to Boost if you're a storage provider and are taking storage deals. You can upgrade to Boost and give feedback in our Falcon Slack. We have a Boost help channel for you to give feedback. We've also launched experimental support for HTTP retrieval. So previously I was talking about kind of storage deal making and how you can leverage HTTP to do your data transfer from clients. Now we also have it supported for retrieval. Really quickly on roadmap for Boost in particular, one of the things that we've also heard is this is actually the biggest feature we're working on right now is scaling Boost. So would be great to learn from this audience maybe what are the main limitations that you have with your storage provider operations, especially around onboarding data. So we'd love to understand how we can better enable scaling of markets to make it faster and easier for you to take in more storage deals. Second, we have a remote COMP calculation feature that we're working on. It's actually in testing right now, so some storage providers are testing that for us. But essentially the idea here is that we want to improve bottlenecks in storage deal making. So how do we basically open up that bottleneck so that the onboarding rate can also be faster? So we're offloading this compute-intensive calculation to other compute that you might have available. And last but not least, we're also working on experimental support for bit swap retrieval. And what this enables is basically, let's say, a lot of the content that we have on Falcon may also be available on IPFS. And so if you're a storage provider on Falcon and you also want to enable IPFS retrievals, having the bit swap data transfer option will basically enable you to retrieve content from IPFS on Falcon as well. So that's some of the great things that we're working on. Sharing a bit of resource information on Boost. We have a documentation site actually that's specific to Boost at boost.falcon.io. You can also check out our GitHub if you're interested in how everything works together. And we are very active on Falcon Slack. So don't be shy. Feel free to reach out to me as well. I'm happy to help with any questions that you might have. Great, and if you have feature requests, we have a discussions board also. So thank you so much for joining. We do have a questionnaire as well for you guys to fill out if you're able to scan this code and basically fill it out. Would really appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much.
네, 이렇게 부스트와 파일코인 마켓에 대한 설명까지 잘 들어봤습니다. 파일코인에서 데이터 저장과 검색을 관리하는 도구인 부스트를 통해서 스토리지 공급자도 검색 마이너가 될 수 있다라는 내용이었는데요. 오늘 준비한 강연은 우선 여기까지입니다.